Hello there, it is Pete over at the Sampleist, and today we are checking out Prehistoric Strings from the Crowhill Company and Bleeding Fingers. After a small hiatus, the Crowhill Company are well and truly back with the incredibly unique Prehistoric Strings. Working closely with Bleeding Fingers and their wonderful creations crafted from bone, horns, skulls and various cannibalised instruments, the Crowhill Company have created a string library full of mystery, emotion and unique timbres. Prehistoric Strings will certainly fill a string-shaped gap that you probably never knew you had. Prehistoric Strings downloads at 24.7 gigabytes and it runs in its very own Crowhill Company plugin. It's currently at the very end of its intro sale for £75. This video we're going to check out the sounds and the functionality of Prehistoric Strings, and of course I've thrown it into the composition challenge. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank the Crowhill Company for sending over a copy of Prehistoric Strings. While we do get the instruments for free, it doesn't in any way influence our thoughts, ideas or judgments. We are just working composers giving you our insights. And speaking of which, being hardworking and always on the hustle, please hit that subscribe button. We love seeing our channel grow. Without further ado, let's jump into Prehistoric Strings. Here we go. We have Prehistoric Strings from the Crowhill Company loaded up in its very own Crowhill Company plugin. Absolutely beautiful. Now this is the ensemble instrument. If I just go to the top, we can see we have our factory settings, and then we can choose which instrument we want, or do we want the whole band ensemble, and then we choose long or short articulations. So I've chosen long to start off with, and we can see we've got ensemble bowing, we got ensemble multi, just playing the full range there. You can hear all the mechanical sounds of these instruments. Now, of course, these instruments are made by Bleeding Fingers, so I will talk about those in a short while. We got ensemble tremolo. Add some suspense. We've got ensemble tasto. And of course, you can see the mod wheel going, so I'm playing one-handed through all of these. And we got ensemble sopon. Ensemble pon, sorry. And ensemble harmonics. They sound gorgeous. And again, you can hear the rebowing. And the room sound, and of course the instrument mechanics as well. Very, very cool stuff. And if we just go on to the shorts as well. So we have staccato. I've just key switched, I've just realised. Let's go back again. Beautiful. Little waltz Marcato. Then we've got Jete. And crescendo. Pizzicato. Collegno. Marvelous. Now, you can add different articulations as well to the empty slots, and you can change which key switch you're going to use. But let's talk about the instruments. So to get a better understanding of the instruments, if you go onto the Crowhill website, you can see exactly what they're made out of, but you get an idea. So we got the Hadricello, for example. And then I want to go onto longs, because I'm using the key switches. You can load all the singles as well to save on a footprint, a memory footprint. There we go. So this is just the cello. We've got molto. So haunting. Let's go for harmonics. Yeah, they sound great. So I'm not going to play every articulation of every instrument, but we get an idea. So the Hadricello shorts as well. Let's do pizzicato. I'll do collegno, which is one of my all-time favorites. It's incredibly weighty. That's cool. Let's go for the next one. Fat Rex. And again, we'll do key switches. Whoops. So some longs. Let's do tremolo. I'll do tasto as well. Beautiful. Let's do a few shorts. Do Jete. And crescendo. I love that. It's almost like a bow scrape. It sounds absolutely gorgeous. And then, sorry, just so we can see the name, we got the tyrannochord. So if you're wondering why the menu looks like this at the moment, it's because I've actually moved the window so it's towards the edge of the screen, so the menu jumps into view. Otherwise, my screen capture area, it will be out of view, if that makes sense. So we have the tyrannochord. We've got some longs. Let's just do the bowed. Again, you just get all of that gorgeous character sound. So that's the tremolo. We go for some shorts. We do staccato. Lovely. And we do col legno. Like I was writing some kind of demonic children's TV theme there. Lovely. And then we got triceratone. Just go fourth. It's not this difficult when you're actually working in practice, believe me. Let's do some longs. We do the multi. And again, I have key switch there. We play some bowed. Gorgeous. And let's do some shorts. Let's go crescendo. Beautiful. And then the last instrument is a violin bass. It's called the Raptor violin. Do some harmonics. Beautiful. And a couple of shorts. Do the pizzicato. And staccato. Lovely. So that is a little example of different articulations from each instrument. And then we got these effects, key switches or singles. So if I go into the effects, they're going to sound dramatically more affected, if that makes sense. Okay, so I was trying to play two-handed there, and obviously I would be using the mod wheel normally, but listen to that sound. They are just gorgeous. So this is where they start to feel more versatile for me. When I was playing through the drier patches, they still have reverb and room sound on, etc. Again, they sound darker. They sound more cinematic. And then you go to these effects ones and they sound just beautiful. Absolutely amazing. So if we go for, let's go for some singles. If I do the Hadricello and we'll do some free bowing. I mean, that is stunning. Absolutely stunning. I see some harmonics. Again, just beautiful. And do the Raptor violin. Again, I'll do free bowing. It's absolutely angelic. So my recommendation is, if you put these strings up, just play around with the different affected versions and the non-affected versions. Now, down the bottom, again, check out the Crow Hill videos because they'll do some far more detail. We've got an EQ control. We can augment the sound. So if I just turn off the glisten reverb, in fact, what I'll do is I'll just go to... There we go. So we can adjust the augment. So let's make it fossilize, which adds a shimmer. Make it sound huge with cavernous. And then we can ramp up the dirt. And add some distortion. You can adjust the mic signals as well as close, wide, and ambient. And of course, we've got different reverbs. So we've got hall, splosh, glisten, chamber, and back to hall again. It's a very cool instrument. So what I've done is compose with it. I've used only the Crow Hill Company instruments. The vertical piano features quite highly, and Marshall brass does as well for some warmth, which again is another gorgeous library. So yeah, let's check it out. But I've gone for some underscore, and I don't know. Well, I do know. I had an absolute blast composing with these. So let's check out the composition, and then we'll go on to my closing thoughts. Here we go, it is closing thoughts time, and we're talking about Prehistoric Strings from the Crow Hill Company and Bleeding Fingers. The first thing I will say is I loved composing with these strings. They sound amazing, and the end result for me was full of character and something a little bit different. The second thing I'll say is they were not what I was expecting at all. When I heard the word prehistoric, I instantly thought, right, I'm going to be composing for a dinosaur documentary or a video game that's set hundreds of thousands of years ago. It didn't really dawn on me how versatile these strings are until I started using them. Now, as I always do when I'm creating a video on any library, I'll check out the developer demos, and they were brilliant. They were cinematic, they were powerful, they were angelic, really, really cool demos. And I started thinking, well, what can I do with these strings? I love the vertical piano, and that is one of my favourite Crow Hill libraries ever. In fact, it's one of my favourite pianos ever, so they really knocked it out of the park. And I thought, strings and piano, let's see what we can do. And I'm really pleased with the end product because I write a lot of underscore, and these strings just add this, like I say, character, this feeling, something that is almost indescribable to the composing. And I have experimented with combining them with different libraries like glass strings, for example, and it works really, really well. And it's all down to the character and the imperfections. These instruments were created by Bleeding Fingers. They are the only instruments of this kind in the world, and we now have these in our DAW. And they've got so many different uses, and that's what I love about them. But the timbres, my goodness, they are amazing. I love the rebowing. Again, it's just that human imperfection that these strings deliver in terms of obviously different articulation, and when you're composing, it doesn't just sound like stiff MIDI strings. That's pretty much what I'm getting at. So, do I recommend it? If you're like me, you'd write a lot of underscore. Yes, absolutely, because there's nothing worse than sounding the same or a little bit stale. Throw these into your template and you're going to sound different. It adds a new dimension to your compositions. So for £75, absolutely. When they go up to their standard price, which I think is £99, again, the value for money is absolutely brilliant. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank the Crow Hill Company for sending over a copy of Prehistoric Strings so we can make this video. If you like what you heard, feel free to leave a like on the video and of course drop us a comment. They've been out for a couple of weeks now, so maybe you've already picked them up and you want to tell us about your composing experience. If you've not done so already, please do check out our other videos on YouTube. We have nearly 600, so that is our aim for the end of the year, to hit that 600 video target. And of course, if you've not hit that subscribe button, please do. It really pushes us on to keep creating videos, and we've got lots more in store on this channel. So until next time, keep making that beautiful music, and we'll speak again soon.